Valerie Oppenheim, born in 1939, died in Kirovograd at age 2. Yonatan Shmulowitz, born in Lachnovich, died at age 10. Fritz Riegler, from Lachenbach, died at age 4. Masha Morgman, from Borislav, died in Borislav at age 4. Poldek Lovchi, born in 1932 in Mikhailov, died in Kielce in 1942 at age 10. Henya Mayerovitz, born in 1943 in Kasseli, died in Auschwitz in 1944 at age 1. Monica Leikina, born in 1939 in Matislav, died in Matislavo on October 14, 1941 at age 2. Harry Rosen, born in 1937 in Brezhnaya, died age 4. Gittel Marder, died in 1941 at age 6.
Benjamin Zeichner, age 6, Auschwitz, 1944. Judith Orenstein, age 8, Auschwitz, 1944. Liebig Bonmiel, age 10, Treblinka, 1942. Avram Prostak, age 7, 1941. Israel Reichman, age 6, Stanislav, 1941. Erinn Wagner, age 6, Sobibor. Alexander Semenkov, age 8, Petroviki, 1942. Yavel Feinberg, age 4, Babarushk, 1941. Alexander Turman, age 4, Zolbin, 1942. Sayel Schilfner, age 6, Warwanow, 1942. Fira Perlman, age 1, Polenya, 1941. Louise Valvis, age 10, Sobibor, 1943. Vilko Eichstein, age 10, Auschwitz, 1944. Daniela Greenreich, age 10, Auschwitz. Irka Seiderbaum, age 8. Nechaim Bernzon, age 3, 1942. Grishenka Pomushka, age 3, Dominevika. Philippus Koika, age 4, Sobibor, 1943. Jacob Shabt, age 5, Belzec, 1942. Eric Totor, age 6, 1942.
Basha Goldfarb, age 17, died in Kamenets-Podolsk, Ukraine on September 28, 1941. Dora Golden, age 7, died in Stalino, Ukraine in 1942. Estera Goldklang, age 6, died in Zarówka near Kraków, Poland in 1942. Miriam Goldklang, age 10, died in Auschwitz in 1944. Bluma Goldman, age 12, died in Vilna, Poland in 1942. Haya Goldman, age 13, died in Vilna, Poland in 1942. Anna Goldman, age 15, died in Auschwitz in 1943. Feigl Goldman, age 13, died in Chapovichi near Zhytomyr, Ukraine in 1941. Abraham Goldrosen, aged 1, died in Belzec, Poland in 1942. Inge Goldschmidt, aged 15, died in Minsk, Belarus on July 28, 1944. Boryas Goldscheider, aged 5, died in Yaltushkov, Ukraine on October 15, 1942. Adelia Goldschmidt, aged 13, died in Yaltushkov, Ukraine on September 20th, 1942. Misha Goldschmidt, aged 15, died in Yaltushkov, Ukraine on September 20th, 1942.
Yacha Kavkin, age 5, Osipovichy Mogilev, Belarusia, 1941. Shimon Kifetz, age 3, Esmoni Mogilev, Belarusia, 1941. Nate Kamen, age 10, Barbarovka, Zitomir, Ukraine, 1941. Pesel Kamen, age 6, Barbarovka, Zitomir, Ukraine, 1941. Yosef Kamen, age 1, Varvarovka, Zitomir, Ukraine, 1941. Nunik Kiger, age 13, Korostyshev, Zitomir, Ukraine, 1941. Roman Kiger, age 10, Pechora, Vinnytsia, Ukraine, 1941. Rosa Kiger, age 13, Pechora, Vinnytsia, Ukraine, 1941. Lyuba Korosh, age 11, Belish, Smolensk, Russia, 1942. Raisha Korosh, age 15, Belish, Smolensk, Russia, 1942. Ichei Chosid, age 5, Slotsminsk, Belarusia, 1942. Tony Lauer, age 11, Riga Camp, 1944. David Lovenstein, age 2, Auschwitz, 1944.
Asher Gervik, Kaunas, Lithuania, October 28, 1941. Mina Gurik, Kaunas, Lithuania, October 28, 1941. Reuven Gurik, Kaunas, Lithuania, October 28, 1941. Vadim Gurwiks, Ponary Wilno, Poland, 1941. Andor Gut, Auschwitz, 1945. Gyuri Gut, Auschwitz, 1945. Esther Gwenksler, Auschwitz, 1944. Gino Gwenksler, Auschwitz, 1944. Jude Gwenksler, Auschwitz, 1944. Simon Gumpelwicks, Auschwitz, 1944. Wolf Gumpelwicks, Auschwitz, 1944. Manichka Gurin, Minsk, Belarusia, 1941. Yakov Gurman, Uman, Kiev, Ukraine, 1942.
Henia Kozlovsky, age 9, Treblinka, year unknown. Simka Lieberman, age 5, Liebau, 1942. Shona Olsvangate, age 9, Kovno, 1943. Yashko Wrestler, age 1, location unknown, date unknown. Chaim Marmorstein, age 10, Auschwitz, 1944. Georgi Krafel, age 8, location unknown, 1944. Isia Axelrud, age 2, Rada Michel, 1941. Isia Markovich, age 8, Buda Keshalovo, date unknown. Elhanan Cohen, age 7, Yaruga, 1942. Betia Brukas, age 3, Bar, 1942. Margot Steinhardt, age 5, Auschwitz, 1942. Bella Kublanova, age 3, Neville, 1941. Nalas Overweg, age 9, unknown location, 1944. Danny Newman, age 7, Auschwitz, 1944. Ruth Krasova, age 9, Auschwitz, 1944. Mila Abis, age 6, Auschwitz, 1944. Fredela Rosenzweig, age 9, Auschwitz, 1942. Sasha Gurvich, age 6, Vinitsa, 1941. Alexander Morgenbesser, age 5, Warsaw, 1943. Richard Buchler, age 1, Auschwitz, date unknown.
Baruch Weinblatt died, Policia, 1941, age 2. Yakov Zelster died in Romanov in 1941 at the age of 8. Fischl Soba died in Transnistria in 1942, age 7. Yankela Geller died in 1941 at the age of 9. Yakov Zeiger died in Chelmno, 1943, age 7. Shmloa Kola died in Treblinka, 1943, at the age of 7. Tamas Buechler died at the age of 9. Elza Beckman died Auschwitz, 1944, age 6. Renee Rudaw died Treblinka, 1942, age 9. Hasia Steinberg died at the age of 10. Elka Hogniak died in Treblinka in 1943 at the age of 2. Basi Kojukaru died in Noa Sulita in 1941 at the age of 8. Kshaya Bola died at the age of 3. Lachi Balachchi died in Auschwitz, 1944. Kayam Arkavi died in Zamask, 1941. Israel Ajgan died at the age of 4. Faivel Intrilegator died in Sialuyai in 1941 at the age of 9. Eli Lebovol died in Janowska, 1942, age 4. Kitty Cohen died in Auschwitz at the age of 3. Shmuel Herskovitz died in Auschwitz in 1944 at the age of 5.
Modal Efron, 17, Smelovici, Minsk, Belorussia, October 14th, 1941. Marceli Egert, 15, Lwów, Poland, June 23rd, 1943. Sarah Ehrenwald, 8, Siniawa, Lwów, Poland, 1942. Emil Ehrlich, 12, Stanislaw, Poland, 1941. Dora Eidelman, 17, Odessa, Ukraine, USSR, 1941. Mark Eidelman, 6, Uzda, Minsk, Belorussia, USSR, 1941. Isaac Eidelin, 7, Orsha, Vitebsk, Belorussia, 1942. Joseph Eidelis, 17, Auschwitz, 1944. Therese Eilenberg, 8, Auschwitz, 1942. Abba Einbinder, 11, Janau, Poland, 1941. Paul Isdorfer, 15, Auschwitz, 1944. Tomas Eisdorfer, 12, Auschwitz, 1944.
Mania Averbach, 13, Barvanitsa, Ukraine, 1941. Nora Bag, 5, Rumbula, Latvia, November 30th, 1941. Frida Bain, 5, Munanek, 1943. Menahem Bakan, 15, Auschwitz, 1942. Ava Balin, 6, Auschwitz, 1944. Peter Ballin, 13, Auschwitz, 1944. Lazir Balzam, 13, Helmano, 1942. Dora Bank, 7, Minsk, Belarusia, July 28, 1942. Sophia Bank, 1, Minsk, Belarusia, July 28, 1942. Galina Bankin, 17, Bagorova, Krim, Russia, November 29, 1941. Judith Bardos, 8, Auschwitz, 1944. Vera Bardos, 15, Auschwitz, 1944. Uchi Barth, 8, Auschwitz, 1944.
Sarah von Stein, age 10, 1942, Odessa. Ruth Lufschutz, age 6, Majdanek. Jarika Thau, age 8, Transnistria. Sarah Misovsky, age 8, 1941, Stepnovka. Cecilia Fonea, age 8, 1944. Yakov Lupkin, age 10, 1942, Zemka. Alex Scheitstein, age 4, 1941. Stefan Sembrun, age 8, 1944, Auschwitz. Aaron Perchik, age 3, 1942, Kamyan Kozowski. Lajbel Rakowski, age 3, 1941, Auschwitz. Abraham Moskowskiv, age 3, 1942, Genoa Dolina. Devora Naratsky, age 7, 1941, Kobyelnik. Hirsch Shokoshiks, age 5, Minsk. Ekaterina Danes, age 6, 1944, Auschwitz. Raya Markova, age 5, 1941, Mariupol. Pinkas Seigelman, age 7, Yabozhenki. Heidi Rosenwasser, age 8, 1944, Auschwitz. Yakov Vopovitz, age 8, 1941, Belkilja. Yosef Lieb, age 6, Auschwitz. Forko Vassman, age 5, 1942, Bar.
Yeshayahu Zelda, from Lutz, age 4. Erna Moskowitz, who perished in Treblinka, age 8. Julia Kludenfein, age 1, who perished in Auschwitz in 1942. Joseph Goldblanc, age 9, who perished in Auschwitz in 1944. Maud Hershka, age 3, who perished in Auschwitz in 1943. Yehezkel Dodge, age 2, who perished in Auschwitz in 1944. Burl Hirsch, age 10, who perished in Colombia in 1942. Bracha Kranzler, age 9, who perished in Jagiellonitsa in 1941. Charlotte Boschen, age 3, who perished in Auschwitz in 1942. Erika Moskowitz, age 9, who perished in Auschwitz in 1944. Chaim Hochbaum, age 3, who perished in Krakow in 1942. Yitzhak Schwartz, age 10. Zuzia Fries, age 10, who perished in 1942. Freddie Leibovitz, age 10. Deborah Gutenberg, age 8, who perished in Auschwitz in 1943. Aniko Glick, age 8, who perished in Auschwitz in 1944. Flora Sardwick, age 2, who perished in Auschwitz in 1942. Eli No, who perished in Falkland, age 10. Sova Kamzhitskaya, who perished in Minsk in 1941, age 6.
Bracha Horn, age 3, Treblinka, 1942. Leah Horn, age 15, Tlumacz Stanislavov, Poland, 1942. Zipporah Horn, age 13, Suleov, Poland, 1939. Yakov Hornfeld, age 16, Auschwitz, 1943. Yehuda Hornfeld, age 5, Auschwitz, 1943. Josef Hornfeld, age 7, Auschwitz, 1943. Henrik Horowitz, age 13, Poland, 1942. Eva Horowitz, age 9, Auschwitz, 1944. Ibolya Horowitz, age 10, Auschwitz, 1944. Joseph Horowitz, age 8, Auschwitz, 1944. Laszlo Horowitz, age 12, Auschwitz, 1944. Milka Horowitz, age 8, Auschwitz, 1942. Tibi Horowitz, age 7, Auschwitz, 1944.
Shaya Zalkman, 1 year old, Warsaw, 1942. Jan Schoen, 10 years old, Auschwitz, 1942. Janos Rosenberg, 10 years old, Auschwitz, 1944. Henya Azen, 7 years old, Sanok. Eli Benoon, 2 years old, Auschwitz, August 16th, 1944. Mordechai Genuth, 9 years old, Auschwitz, 1944. Anechka Sardanova, 3 years old, Vitebsk, July 14th, 1941. Musia Schorichter, 10 years old, Liadi, April 2nd, 1942. Grisha Vodopianov, 1 year old, 1942. Henya Prizand, 8 years old, Chelmno, 1942. Heincha Ardewerk, 5 years old, Sobibor, June 4th, 1943. Sioma Pernikov, 10 years old, Minsk, July 28th, 1942. Emma Rossman, 4 years old, Simferopol, 1941. Harry Porles, 6 years old, Buchenwald, 1939. Abraham Muniz, 6 years old, Dvinsk, May 2nd, 1942. Yeno Kobel, 10 years old. Naftali Bohorovitz, 5 years old, Auschwitz. Ruvim Ifen, 5 years old, Miori, 1942. Yossi Stegman, 5 years old. Sonia Perliner, 9 years old, 1942.
Lori Lobenstein, Auschwitz, age 8, 1943. Ayoka Kiselev, Leonzo, 1943, age 4. Heisek Markowitz, Auschwitz, 1943, age 7. Shmulik Siskin, Ladoskaya, age 4. Sari Moskovitz, Demblin, 1944, age 10. Nina Grossinger, Auschwitz, 1942, age 6. Avram Friedman, Auschwitz, 1944, age 10. Tatiana Venergrova, Dobritsky Yar, 1941, age 5. Barale Hillelson, Kaunas, 1944, age 3. Yishai Semiatiki, Bialystok, 1941, age 3. Itzhak Schwartz, Pulawi, 1942, age 2. Livek Sagalev, Mistelval, 1941, age 2. Fromo Leibovich, 1941, age 8. Izzy Klarsfeld, Dolina, 1942, age 4. Israel Ziegel, Tarnow, age 7. Tovkivu Ostracher, Auschwitz, 1944, age 4. David Schwartz, Auschwitz, 1944, age 6. Sally Dotch, Sobibor, 1943, age 6. Piri Roth, Auschwitz, 1944, age 8. Alexander Pfizer, 1942, age 1.
Abram Fuderman, age 2, died in Vinkovci, Ukraine, January 5, 1942. Shura Fuderman, age 3, died in Vinkovci, Ukraine, January 5, 1942. Minteya Furman, age 14, died in Balanovka in 1941. Thomas Gabor, age 2, died in Auschwitz, 1944. Susan Gall, age 5, died in Auschwitz in 1944. Ira Gemarnik, age 4, died in the Ukraine, 1941. Clara Gompel, died in Minsk, Belarus, 1942. Rejla Gondler, age 16, died in Volin, Poland, 1942. Clara Gonales, age 2, died in Minsk, Belarus, in 1942.
Jania Goldberg, Skalat, Poland, 1943. Paul Goldberg, 16, Auschwitz, 1944. Yona Goldberg, 2, Brust, Poland, 1943. Ida Goldenberg, 7, Vinnytsia, Ukraine, August 16, 1942. Alla Goldenstein, 9, Odessa, Ukraine, USSR, 1941.
Mendel Vindman died at age 8 in Treblinka on December 14, 1942. Jan Vinter died age 6 at Treblinka in 1943. Istvan Vissler died age 1 in Auschwitz, 1944. Judith Wisniewski died at age 7 on May 15, 1942. Nusha Vitus died age 13 at Ternopil, Poland in 1942. Peter Witrawski died at age 14 in Auschwitz, 1944. Leon Vodnicki died at age 14 at Auschwitz on August 9, 1942. Bluma Wolf died at age 13 in Auschwitz in 1944. Gunter Wolfberg died at age 17 in Auschwitz in 1942. Riva Wolfowitz died at age 17 at Solok, Lithuania on August 26, 1941. Ansel Wolfowitz died age 13 at Auschwitz in 1942. Israel Wolfowitz died at age 16 at Auschwitz in 1942. Mary Wolfowitz died at age 8 on November 11th, 1941.
Lisa Kakoff, 3 years old, Sevastopol, 1941. Israel Hoffman, 4 years old, Camp, date of death unknown. Lieb Kumak, 10 years old, Minsk, 1943. Zvan Moskovics, 8 years old, Auschwitz, June 13th, 1944. Rosie Moskowitz, 10 years old, Auschwitz, 1944. Mihaly Cohn, 8 years old, 1944. Jakob Jakobowitz, 1 year old, Auschwitz, 1944. Gidel Ilowski, 8 years old, Zamask, 1942. Kopel Pekler, 1 year old, Wilno, 1942. Leonia Kolomiansky, 5 years old, Konstantinovka, 1941. Moyosha Makhnovetsky, 8 years old, Staro Konstantinov, 1942. Yenkel Kate, 5 years old, 1942. Pearl Moskovic, 8 years old, Auschwitz, 1943. Sioma Merzinski, 9 years old, Nadorf, 1941. Bozina Friedman, 10 years old, Lublin, 1942. Oro Hamin, 4 years old, Treblinka, March 1943. Hannah Wechnik, 6 years old, Auschwitz, 1944. Jarina Steiner, 2 years old, Auschwitz, 1942. Georgi Herstein, 3 years old, Auschwitz, 1944. Lucia Korenberg, 10 years old, Tarnopol, 1943.
Herz Lobovitz, 10, Auschwitz. Zoya Knushkaya, 7, Treblinka. Yakov Fixman, 8, Warsaw. Lisa Abelwitz, 10, Vilna. Magdi Spitzer, 5, Auschwitz. Sulamf Nielsen, 6, Rumbula. Sina Nierenberg, 10, Mariupol. Joshua Joost, 9, Heinrich Helt, 3, Borslav. Gula Frank, 8, Auschwitz. Oscar Fried, 7, Auschwitz. Sipora Perlmutter, 7, Dolhinov. Editki Doranter, 5, Auschwitz. Miksa Rosenbaum, 4, Auschwitz. Thomas Abelsies, 7, Auschwitz. Heini Rosenbaum, 8, Durchesen. Susie Hatcher, 8, Auschwitz. Chava Ozerjansky, 4, Babi Yar. Rosal Sturm, 10, Auschwitz. Tani Birkenstein, 7, Novoshranki.
Sarah Breiker, 5, Belorussia, 1942. Rise Brill, 17, Poland, 1943. Meyer Brill, 6, Bergen, 1943. Uzea Brilon, 17, Belorussia, 1941. Isha Bromberg, 11, Odessa, Ukraine, 1942. Kahim Bromberg, 7, Odessa, Ukraine, 1942. Akiva Bronner, 12, Auschwitz, 1942. Cecile Bronner, 10, Auschwitz, 1942. Bezea Braunfeld, 4, Kharkov, 1941. Tatiana Braunfeld, 1, Kharkov, 1941. Frida Bronner, Auschwitz, 1943. Coney Bronstein, 16, Transnistria, 1942. Nukem Bronstein, 16, Transnistria, 1942.
Benem Braun, 12, Treblinka, 1942. Edith Braun, 14, Auschwitz, 1944. Jacob Braun, 7, Poland, 1941. Monique Braun, 11, Auschwitz, 1943. Rebecca Braun, 4, Dubno, Poland, 1943. Boriska Brainer, 8, Auschwitz, 1944. Erzy Brainer, 17, Auschwitz, 1944. Istvan Brainer, 10, Auschwitz, 1944. Marty Brainer, 6, Auschwitz, 1944. Erika Breiterman, 17, Treblinka, 1942. Haja Brenner, 15, Belzec, 1942. Larissa Breiker, Minsk, Belarusia, 1942.
Anya Remnick, age 5, Plisko, 1942. Mitya Kalnitsky, age 1, Gaisin, 1941. Isaac Weinstein, age 6, Maniwix, 1942. Yakov Polyak, age 9, Ilyininsk, 1942. Eliyahu Yeager, age 1, Auschwitz, 1944. Yevgeny Segal, age 3, Leningrad, March 1941. Ruth Rosenzweig, age 9, Auschwitz, January 29, 1943. Blumia Grenadier, age 10, Overuk, 1941. Pesel Indig, age 3, Auschwitz, June 1944. Fermeta Rabinowitz, age 10, Opatov, 1942. Abrasha Weissman, age 7, Pehora, 1942. Butch Grinberg, age 2, Jadow, 1943. Jacob Peskoski, age 3, Binakon, 1941. Susana Tevjowitz, age 3, Auschwitz, 1944. Fifel Heller, age 9, Auschwitz. Stella Altschuler, Maya Pompushka, age 1, Dom Menevka. Sofa Shifrina, age 5, Gomel. Moish Reich, age 8, January 10, 1944, Auschwitz. Fania Pupko, age 7, 1942, Voronezh.
Lee Gutkin, 17, Vitebsk, Belarusia, 1942. Noam Gutkin, 15, Vitebsk, Belarusia, 1942. Rosa Gutkin, 13, Vitebsk, Belarusia, 1942. Rose Gutman, 16, Riga, Latvia, 1941. Bella Gutstein, 15, Auschwitz, 1943. Kalman Gutman, 13, Tarnow, Poland, 1942. Taya Gutman, 8, Auschwitz, 1943. Agnes Yaula, 10, Auschwitz, 1944. Joseph Yaula, 14, Auschwitz, 1944. Erica Haar, 12, Auschwitz, 1944. Agi Haj, 6, Auschwitz, 1944. Istvan Haj, 14, Auschwitz, 1944. Luba Haber, 5, Auschwitz, 1942.
Hania Koslavsky, 9, Treblinka. Simcha Lieberman, 6, Lebo, 1942. Sonny Olsvangante, 9, Kovno, 1943. Josko Ressler, 1. Chaim Marmorstein, 10, Auschwitz, 1944. Georg Krafel, 8, 1944. Iza Axelrod, 2, Radio Michel, 1941. Izia Mirovich, 8, Buda Kolshelovo. Elhanan Cohen, 7, Yar Uga, 1942. Betya Brukas, 3, Bar, 1942. Margot Steinhardt, 5, Auschwitz, 1942. Bella Kublanova, 3, Neville, 1941. Nolas Oberweg, 9, 1944. Danny Newman, 7, Auschwitz, 1944. Ruth Krasova, 9, Auschwitz, 1944. Mila Abyss, 6, Auschwitz, 1944. Fredel Rosenweg, 9, Auschwitz, 1942. Sasha Gruvich, 6, Vinitsa, 1941. Alexander Morgenbesser, 5, Warsaw, 1943. Richard Buchler, 1, Auschwitz.
The following children were murdered by the Nazis and their helpers at Auschwitz in 1944. Liba Herskovich, 5 years old. Dov Herskovich, 15 years old. Judith Herskovich, 16 years old. Laszlo Herskovich, 5 years old. Shlomo Herskovich, 13 years old. Tomas Herskovich, 2 years old. Murdered by the Nazis at Auschwitz in 1944. The following children were murdered at Auschwitz in 1944. Erinn Herskovich, 15 years old. Avram Herskovich, 8 years old. Alti Hershtik, 10 years old. Ander Hersko, 4 years old. Bella Herskovic, 14 years old. Fajki Herskovic, 10 years old. Raji Herskovic, 12 years old. They were murdered in 1944 by the Nazis at Auschwitz.
Rivka Better, age 14, Olchisk Kamenets, Podolsky, Ukraine, September 21st, 1942. Rudy Better, age 17, Olchisk Kamenets, Podolsky, Ukraine, September 21st, 1942. Yitzhak Better, age 5, Olchisk Kamenets, Podolsky, Ukraine, September 21st, 1942. Yitzhak Better, age 8, Olchisk Kamenets, Podolsky, Ukraine, September 21st, 1942. Yendrich Bulter, age 3, Auschwitz, July 11th, 1944. Vilja Bialer, age 4, Rovno, Wolin, Poland, November 8th, 1941. Chaim Bialograd, age 17, Lodz, Poland, 1944. Danusia Bialograd, age 5. Chmelo Kielce, Poland, 1942. Tsui Bick, age 10. Auschwitz, 1944. Shumalet Bilder, age 15. Berezno, Poland, 1942. Robert Birnbaum, age 13. Auschwitz, 1942.
Manya Mendelovich, 7. Mariam Schinkerman, 2. Geissen. Semyon Nyberg, 5. Olevsk. Lucia Schneider, 4. Petra. Benjamin Nudovitz, 10. Birkenau. Zhenya Press, 4. Balabanovka. Israel Miknovich, 1. Simferopol. Reina Nisim, 4. Treblinka. Abraham Lifsik, 4. Treblinka. Jan Schwartz, 2. Auschwitz. Israel Lebovich, 1. Auschwitz. Fira Lucis, 6. Layakovsky. Aria Maestrich, 10. Auschwitz. Aina Pesakina, 6. Melitopol. Misha Persachensky, 8. Scheindale Streifler, 9. Tlust. Moishle Slutsky, 5. Mamech. Sora Garber, 7. Auschwitz. Willie Czech, 7. Ruth Lovey, 8. Auschwitz.
Madeline Weiner, born 1934, died Auschwitz, date unknown. Judith Hirsch, born 1940, died Auschwitz, 1944. Eti Alperovich, born 1940, died Maedl, 1942. Isaac Linder, born 1938, died Balashov, 1941. Idla Grinchbon, born 1933, died Kostopol, 1942. Marika Lichtman, born 1941, died Auschwitz, 1944. Rivka Koch, born 1934, place and date of death unknown. Zoli Licht, date of birth unknown, died Auschwitz, 1944. Clara von Mopis, born 1935, died Auschwitz, 1942. Ela Kohn, born 1934, died Auschwitz, 1944. Tabitha Friedman, born 1935, died Auschwitz, 1944. Ita Schneider, date of birth unknown, died Demyankovsky, 1942. Yishok Engel, born 1939, died Auschwitz, 1944. Werner Nelke, born 1934, died Auschwitz, 1940. Ella Krasner, born 1939, died Gorodok, 1941. Andrei Svarks, born 1937, place and date of death unknown. Israel Horowitz, date of birth unknown, died Chestachova, date unknown. Mordechai Olszewski, born 1940, place and date of death unknown. Yakov Kapustyan, born 1935, died Sverdlovka, 1941. Fritzi Kriegsmann, date of birth unknown, died Ciudine, 1941.
Yichel Rothstein, age 8,
Joanna Lewinsky, died in Treblinka, 1942, age 5. Abraham Lifshik, died in Treblinka, 1943, age 6. Brona Nachmanberg, died in Kirch, 1942, at age 1. Merrick Oceanhout, died in Jelowish, 1942, at age 8. Marika Orenstein, died in Auschwitz, 1944, age 4. Stella Balaguskaya, died in Podolsk, 1942, age 7. Felicia Schreiber, died in 1941, at age 5. Yitzhak Orenbach, died at age 6. Yosef Melamud, died in Markuleshti, 1941, age 9. Katerina van Adelsberg, died in Auschwitz, 10/9/1942, at age 2. Etta Tzvian, died at age 10. Devora Yeager, died in Auschwitz at age 6. Edith Neubauer, Auschwitz, at age 10. Luzar Cheserman, died in Samarkand, 1943, at age 4. Margit Schwartz, died in Auschwitz, 1944, at age 5. Gino Ragayali, died in Auschwitz in 1944, at age 6. Emma Proknina, died in Kamshin, 1942, age 1. Yankel Persiman, died at age 5. Gittel Lichtenstein, died in Auschwitz at age 6.
Yitzhak Idavek, age 10. Yaakov Sander, age 2. Abraham Sinaj, age 7. Luciana Pacifica Auschwitz, age 1. Yehuda Sadowski, age 5. Yosef Rosenwaj Poznan, age 8. Shmuel Hirsch, Auschwitz, age 6. Wolf Shlomovich, age 6. Fanya Schuyler Uman, age 4. Pisu Schneider, Auschwitz, age 6. Tusha Stadler, age 5. Ruth Ackerman, Auschwitz, age 2. Isla Gurovich, age 1. Israel Salzberg, age 5. Mania Seltzer, age 6. Shanitza Ornstein, age 6. Iris Shabrant, age 10. Guri Spitzer, Budapest, age 5. Moshe Cohn, age 2. Elka Salubsky, 4 years old.
Raya Elperovich, Rudnya, 1941, age 7. Moishe Rabinovich, Velichenis, 1941, age 6. Lucia Schwarzberg, Pervomaysk, 1941, age 10. Manya Bedorova Klimovici, 1941, age 4. Basheva Leiser, Auschwitz, 1943, age 4. Bela Ushamersky, Kurostan, 1941, age 6. Gedalia Meyerovich, Waranowa, 1942, age 7. Borya Ruchman, Veshinkowici, 1942, age 4. Margit Steiner, age 4. Jacko Sushawalski, Treblinka, age 9. Mara Shachtman, Somavaka, 1942, age 4. Marta Kadzupoulos, Birkenau, 1944, age 10. Izya Rosenblum, Talnoya, 1941, age 3. Chaya Bernstein, Sashnawish, 1941, age 9. Fega Warda, 1942, age 5. Chaskil Eisenzweig, age 2. Manya Urek, Katarinopol, 1941, age 7. Zesja Finmesser, Kiels, 1943, age 5. Josef Puritz, age 3. Lajos Fixler, Auschwitz, 1944, age 4.
Nachman Spitalnik, 8. Chaim Kirschenbaum, 3. Auschwitz, 1944. Pali Shepkuti, 5. Auschwitz, 1944. Yakov Lubitsky, 7. Hansevice. Sura Rosenfeld, 8. Auschwitz, 1944. Yehohawa Isaac, 7. Auschwitz. Richard Schwarz, 6. Zvi Michli, 7. Auschwitz, 1944. Zalman Weber, 9. Orsha, 1941. Henek Patsanovsky, 8. Janosch Krause, 6. Auschwitz, 1944. Froma Godovich, 4. Kaunas, 1943. Yakov Kainas, 4. 1942. Fira Halfin, 7. 1941. Josef Kiesermann, 2. Bila Tserkva, 1941. Isaac Magade, 4. Ivanets, 1943. Simon Moncars, 10. Auschwitz, 1943. Zaria Unruch, 9. Noemi Farkas, 8. Auschwitz, 1944. Basia Elshanskia, 9. Dubrovica, 1941.
Anya Horowitz, 15. Treblinka, 1942. Hinda Horowitz, 12. Treblinka, 1942. Reza Horowitz, 15. Auschwitz, 1942. Shlomo Horowitz, 4. Auschwitz, 1942. Hinko Horty, 14. Auschwitz, 1944. Meyer Huff, 8. Frampo Lublin, Poland, 1944. Nathan Huff, 10. Frampo Lublin, Poland, 1944. Shimon Huff, 12. Frampo Lublin, Poland, 1944. Henrik Hutt, 15. Nadworna Stanislawa, Poland, 1941. Siegfried Heimans, 15. Auschwitz, 1942. Robert Idelson, 12. Riga, Latva, 1941. Yakov Ingberg, 10. Belslik, 1943. Moishe Israel, 12. Auschwitz, 1944. Shima Bronner, 4. Lodz, Poland, 1940. Manya Berman, 18. Kalashin, Poland, 1944.
Pierre Belatitro, 3 years, Auschwitz. Borik Exler, 9 years, Vertugeni, 1941. Ruth Stitzel, 7 years, Majdanek. Vicky Morgenstern, 5 years old. Shipa Rissin, 8 years old, 1942. Avram Wolfowitz, 5 years old. Stolowitz, 1941. Lajab Zazndanzer, 3 years old. Chelmno, 1942. Yadzia Urman, 5 years old. Pola Zoberberg, 6 years old.
Lodz. Yevgenia Levina, 5 years old, Konotop, 1941. Heinrich Kersner, 4 years old, 1941. Celia Vinner, 4 years old, Skvira, 1941. Michal Mendowitz, 2 years old, Chelmno, 1942. Chenia Scisaraz, 2 years old, Treblinka, 1942. Miri Pressler, 10 years old, Auschwitz, 1944. Galjao Arkus, 2 years old. Nukim Steinerman, 1 year old, Nemirov, 1941. Zina Drapkina, 6 years old, Geneshesk, 1942. Gerogi Steiner, 3 years old, Auschwitz, 1944. Tsipa Berenfeld, 8 years old, Simferopol, 1941.
Hello, my name is David Derechik, and this is a list of children who perished in the Holocaust. Anu Chukaya died in Gelatinsi, 1942, age 9. Aji Baisher died in Kamenets-Podolsky, 1942, age 9. Mendel Goldstein died in Auschwitz, 1942, age 7. Maximilian Dux died in Lublin, 1942, age 4. Freddie Alster died in Riga, 8 years of age. Sonia Zavina died in Kamenets-Podolsky, 1942, age 4. Manya Zavalskaya died in Odessa, 1941, age 3. Zarunia Fas died in Lublin, 1942, age 6. Hedva Lipschitz from Warsaw died, age 3. Aline Korenbezier from Paris died, age 3. Hello, this is David Derechik, continuing my list of children who died in the Holocaust. Sarli Baron from Kaunas, 1945, 10 years of age. Avromali Davidovich died in Auschwitz, 1944, 3 years of age. Inoshka Schneiden died in Minsk, 3 years of age. Lena Abramovich died in Khartobi, 1941, 4 years of age. Naomi Moskovich, Odessa, 1941, 2 years of age. Benzayan Bosk died in Givinisky, 1941, 6 years of age. Jolly Hoffman died in Bushash, 1944, 8 years of age. Sutka Juler died in Povalitsy, 1942, 4 years of age. Henna Müncher, 1943, 10 years of age. May they never be forgotten.
Yasha Weissman, age 1, Romanov, 1941. Francine Bauer, age 3, Auschwitz. Loisia Hanchinsky, age 3, Lodz. Rosia Tullman, age 4, 1941. Gary Weinberger, age 7, Auschwitz, 1944. Walter Korbel, age 8, Auschwitz. Gietel Weig, age 5, Auschwitz, 1944. Didi Fulop, age 8, Auschwitz, 1944. Anja Junk, age 3, Ingolitz, 1942. Zhenya Zeitslina, age 9, Velakoya Zereche, 1941. Judith Zarenye, age 5, Auschwitz, 1944. Louisa Gazis, age 3, Treblinka, 1943. Jakov Wiesel, age 8, 1942. Yehil Kesar, age 2. Petya Bluyodoy, age 5, Trudnov, 1941. Ronya Oksman, age 10, Lunanyek, 1940. Benjamin Vexler, age 3, Stanislavo, 1941. Pelika Seitzler, age 5, Auschwitz. Judith Vector, age 7, Auschwitz, 1944. Vosja Rikarson, age 8, Dukovshina, 1942.
Yakov Eliarsh, 2, Babi Yar. Sheila Zakharchuk, 6, Braklov. Ira Sakhartova, 6, Vitebsk. Bombinel Berkovici, 1, Starokeziec. Rachel Rosenberg, 6, Chelmeno. Alexandra Nazinchuk, 6, Odessa. Leah Shalova, 1, Starosi. Salman Prinz, 9, Auschwitz. Asia Peck, 2, Yanovici. Simone Bogi, 6, Auschwitz. Luisa Spetzner, 7, unknown. Sofia Edlina, 6, Curzon. Sofia Pumishka, 7, Domovica. Pepe Goldsman, 10, Kopayagod. Erna Alkaje, 10, Dezhkovka. Theo Potterman, 4, unknown. Mitlos Orenstein, 6, Auschwitz.
Grazia Anticoli, age 4. Yiskor Abraham Auschwitz, 1944, age 4. Bubi Ziferblatt, November 11, 1941, age 3. Molta Poyakov, Odessa, 1941, age 10. Rakhil Maklin, Zitomir, 1941, age 4. Kaila Izbeki, Lotz, 1943, age 9. Latsi Moshkovich, Auschwitz, 1944, age 3. Henia Osrovich, Belzec, 1942, age 8. Joni Sapira, Auschwitz, 1944, age 8. Yana Starets, November 19, 1941, age 2. Sveta Skyskin, Ladaskaya, age 1. Feivel Yashpas, Varnikai, October 15, 1941, age 7. Moisha Mendelowitz, Auschwitz, age 6. Clarté Brunvelds, Sobibor, June 11, 1943, age 4. Svi Friedman, Auschwitz, 1944, age 3. Simon Tetzler, Auschwitz, 1944, age 10. Maurice Abravanel, Birkenau, April 22, 1943, age 5. Etyelovich, Glusk, 1941, age 4. Maria Yampolskaya, Yamenets Podolskia, November 1941, age 6. Veruca Kohn, Auschwitz, 1944, age 5. Grazia Anticoli, age 4. Yiskor Abraham Auschwitz, 1944, age 4. Bubi Ziferblatt, November 11, 1941, age 3. Molta Poyakov, Odessa, 1941, age 10. Rakhil Maklin, Zitomir, 1941, age 4. Kaila Izbeki, Lotz, 1943, age 9. Latsi Moshkovich, Auschwitz, 1944, age 3. Henia Osrovich, Belzec, 1942, age 8. Joni Sapira, Auschwitz, 1944, age 8. Yana Starets, November 19, 1941, age 2. Sveta Skyskin, Ladaskaya, Vladaskaya, age 1.
And Semyon Krujnivker, age 1, Odessa, 1941. Shmaya Friedman, age 6, Auschwitz, 1944. Zygmunt Lechter, age 8, Belzec, 1942. Michael Cohen, age 5, Auschwitz, 1942. Joseph Hirsch, age 7, Auschwitz, 1944. Halinka Kashur, age 8. Nathan Grodzicki, age 5, 1942. Lyuba Kielman, age 10, Novaya Ushitsa, 1941. Shoshana Cross, age 7, Auschwitz, 1944. Borch Favush, age 7, Keaton, 1941.
Lil Younger, age 6, Auschwitz, 1944. Margaret Botner, age 10, Janelle. Hessie Jas, age 8. Italy Koplowicz, age 10, Radashkowicz, 1942. Rivka Osnovich, age 5, Auschwitz. Sarah Belker, age 9, Siaulier, 1943. Jolyn Rotter, age 9, Birkenau. Haim Kirschenblatt, age 3, 1941. Dasha Yaluner, age 3, Mariupol, 1941. Ansel Khan, age 6, Auschwitz, 1944. Saye Steinberg, age 8, Auschwitz, 1944. Tommy Abraham, age 2, Auschwitz, 1944. Benjamin Krivsky, age 4, Kobilnik, 1942. Israel Jakubowicz, age 10, Auschwitz, 1943. Miklos Katz, age 6, Auschwitz, 1944. Ayental Grun, age 8. Joseph Krankler, age 8, Birkenau, 1944. Henry Marmelstein, age 5, Auschwitz, 1945. Lucia Mashkovich, age 8, 1942. Anya Kantorovich, age 3, Minsk, 1942.
Henia Jakubowicz, age 7, Auschwitz, 1944. Elka Drakinski, age 7, Liemenchen, 1941. Maya Berkovich, age 3, 1942. Iniko Hertz, age 4, Auschwitz. Alexander Hertz, age 9, 1942. Burl Khan, age 5, Auschwitz, 1944. Zila Donner, age 10. Bubba Schwartz, age 9, Auschwitz, 1944. Pierre Young, age 9, Auschwitz, 1944. Mota Perway, age 10, Auschwitz, 1944.
Matuzia Bokovstein, age 6. Benjamin Marovich, age 8, Auschwitz, 1944. Mordga Edelstein, age 9, 1941. Ayil Yanoveshki, age 8, Odessa, 1941. Rivka Jarkate, age 8. Chaya Jubovitz, age 3, Auschwitz, 1944. Michelle Rodeminch, age 9, Auschwitz, 1942. Claudine Marks, age 7, Auschwitz, 1944. Feiji Ackerman, age 8, 1944, Auschwitz. George Itzhak, age 7, 1944, Auschwitz. Zara Kotlars, age 7, 1943. Sprinza Lifshitz, age 2, 1942. Uta Jacquard, age 8, Birkenau, 1943. C.V. Weitz, age 1. Gabby Meyer, age 4, Birkenau, 1944. George Cardos, age 5, Auschwitz, 1944. Jerzik Silberstein, age 4, 1942, Krakow. Joachim Plesner, age 4, 1941. Joseph Indig, age 4.
Irka Globus, 8, Poland, 1943. Sabina Glowixer, 17, Treblinka, 1942. Moses Gluck, 16, Auschwitz, 1945. Etel Gluzman, 7, Romania, 1941. Rochelle Globerman, 17, Belarusia, 1941. Juzia Goikman, 10, Ukraine, 1942. Izia Goikman, 2, Ukraine, 1942. Israel Goikman, 17, Ukraine, 1941. Mina Goikman, 17, Ukraine, 1941. Mira Goikman, 6, Ukraine, 1942. Shalom Goklerner, 15, Poland, 1941. Lev Goikstein, 17, Ukraine, 1942. Abraham Goldberg, 14, Auschwitz, 1943.
Chaim Hertzkowitz, age 11, Shamino, 1942. Herschel Hertzkowitz, age 14, Shamino, 1942. Gittel Herzlikowitz, age 12, Treblinka, 1942. Jacob Herzig, age 6, Sambor Lvov, Poland, 1943. Malka Herzig, age 13, Sidiu, Bukovina, Romania, 1941. Ivan Hilf, age 7, Auschwitz, 1944. Stefan Hilf, age 14, Auschwitz, 1944. Tibor Herzkowitz, age 12, Auschwitz, 1944. Jacob Herzkowitz, age 3, Auschwitz, 1944. Agi Herzkowitz, age 3, Auschwitz, 1944. Dina Hertzberg, age 10, Auschwitz, 1943. Jacob Hertzberg, age 7, Auschwitz, 1943. Nachum Hertzberg, age 13, Auschwitz, 1943.
Margit Blumenthal, age 9, Auschwitz, 1944. R.C. Zisberg, age 6, Krasnik, 1941. Rashila Weissman, age 8, Obodovka, 1941. Eleonora Zotolovsky, age 5, Dnipropetrovsk, 1941. Henya Rotter, age 10, Bolichov, year of death unknown. Yankel Weiss, age 9, Auschwitz, 1944. Andries Schwartz, age 2, Auschwitz, 1944. Mickey Lipschitz, age 3, Kamenets Podolsk, 1941. Hanela Cherniak, age 2, Klimovich, 1941. Miki Grunberg, age 9, Auschwitz, year of death unknown. Luba Kanatowski, age 6, Minsk, 1942. Zleta Lebo, age 6, Voikovdorf, 1941. Sunya Kashvin, age 8, Babiar, 1941. Israel Lavant, age 5, Kislovodsk, 1942. Friedel Haber, age 5, Auschwitz, 1942. Yankel Liebengolz, age 3, Ovruch, 1941. Isaac Izrati, age 1, Birkenau, 1943. Leonia Martyr, age 3, Zhitomir, 1941. Judith Schwartz, age 8, place of death unknown, year of death unknown. Evgenia Slepyan, age 7, Minsk, 1942.
Piri Rosenberg, died at Auschwitz, 1944, age 9. Rasha Pedowitz, died at Lomza, 1942, age 3. Artek Recht, died at Belzec, 1942, age 9. Yuda Schwartz, died at age 10. Chaim Weinstein, died at age 9. Chava Zelmanowitz, died in Auschwitz, 1944, age 4. Isaac Friedman, died in 1942, age 4. Stella Avramovich, died at age 7. Irvin Hitter, died at Birkenau, 1944, age 9. Itzhak Vilner, died at age 5. Sorenka Kreischer, died at Auschwitz, 1944, age 4. Freimed Mintzberg, died at Treblinka, 1942, age 9. Ahil Gerwitz, died at Dunlilovitz, 1942, age 9. Ruth Wolken, died at age 3. Hakeim Weiss, died at Auschwitz, 1944, age 1. Ida Dvorkina, died at Dubrovno, 1941, age 1. Jesua Weiss, died at Auschwitz, 1944, age 4. Ita Rosenwald, died at age 8. Francisco Weiss, died at Auschwitz, 1944, age 7.
Yitzhak Rosenzweig, Treblinka, 9 years old. Ozzy Levy, Auschwitz, 10 years old, 1944. David Perlmutter, Berzenstein, 10 years old, 1941. Shaiv Thepper, 2 years old, 1941. Kalman Finkelstein, 8 years old, 1942. Motel Rotbane, Treblinka, 8 years old. Shopsy Rosenroch, Auschwitz, 8 years old, 1944. Solomon Pia, Kemlo, age 3, 1942. Erica Lowy, Auschwitz, age 3, 1944. Yoshika Tahani, Auschwitz, age 6, 1944. Ben Ettinger, Tolmax, age 2, 1941. Chaim Pelkman, Auschwitz, 9 years old, 1944. Chaim Moskovic, Auschwitz, 1944, 9 years old. Ellen Krosashner, Auschwitz, 6 years old, 1943. Sayoma Chernyak, Chaucy, age 7, 1941. Sharik Voretnik, age 7, 1942. Greti Kiselstein, Auschwitz, age 5, 1944. Pezel Fenjbilt, age 8, 1942. Manya Perlman, Treblinka, age 10, 1941. Alexander Rothstein, age 8, 1942.
Ready? Okay. Raj Rosenfeld, age 6, Auschwitz, 1944.
Shrulek Nyberg, age 6, Barbarovka, 1941.
Maurice Diamond, age 9, Auschwitz, 1944.
Isaac Blyer, age 9, Auschwitz, 1944.
Zayama Bass, age 6, Kostayakovich, 1941.
Burl Azen, age 3, Odessa, 1942.
Gittel Goose, age 3, 1941.
Yuri Zeisler, age 8, Auschwitz, 1944.
Jansi Tevjoretz, age 5, Auschwitz, 1944.
Bella Bourgeois, age 6, Kosauti, 1941.
Olya Palui, age 6, Melitopol, 1941.
Selinka Bronstein, age 6, Ponnery, 1942.
Gittel Berkovich, age 6, Kamenets Podolsky, 1941.
Israel Frigg, age 5, Minsk, 1943.
Manya Iskovich, age 10, Margolici, Bessarabia, Romania, 1941. Meir Iskovich, age 14, Marcoletsi, Bessarabia, Romania, 1941. Bronka Izbitsi, age 10, Auschwitz, 1943. Madzunia Israelowitz, age 6, Auschwitz, 1943. Edward Jacobowitz, age 8, Auschwitz, 1943. Boris Kaplan, age 3, Minsk Ghetto, 1943. Betya Kadash, age 6, Odessa, Ukraine, 1941. Fira Kadash, age 13, Odessa, Ukraine, 1941. Rita Kaitov, age 8, Rumbala, Latvia, 1941. Pearl Karnam, age 15, Kamyets Podolsk, Ukraine, June 27, 1942. Izia Kavin, age 4, Osipovici, Mogilov, Belarusia, 1941. Marat Kavin, age 12, Osipovici, Mogilov, Belarusia, 1941. Fanya Kafkin, age 2, Osipovici, Mogilov, Belarusia, 1941.
Remembering the children who perished in the Holocaust. Benjamin Ostrovsky, place of residence Sofia, place of death Dachau, age 8. Israel Lyubich, place of residence Kherson, place of death Kherson, date of death August 1941, age 4. Ella Rybakov, date of birth 1937, place of residence Minsk, place of death Minsk, date of death 1943, age 6. Chaya Nagas, date of birth 1933, place of residence Olkush, place of death Auschwitz, date of death June 1942, age 5. Françoise Akar, date of birth December 19, 1943, place of residence Bar de Luc, place of death Auschwitz, Date of death 1944, age 6. Alik Nyberg. Date of birth 1934, place of residence Slutsk, place of death Slutsk. Date of death 1942, age 8. Maya Ojinets. Date of birth 1934, place of residence Minsk, place of death Minsk. Date of death 1942, age 8. Lyusia Notkina. Place of residence Koyishki, place of death Kolyishki. Date of death March 17th, 1942, age 2. Yosef Brazer. Date of birth 1938, Warszawa, Warsaw. Date of death 1942, age 4. Hestrel Wiener. Place of residence Kilsey, place of death Kilsey, age 5. Krasno Shezer. Place of residence Zamosk, age 7 at death. Aninka Beter. Date of birth 1936, place of residence Oshiko, age death 6. Tanya Anapul. Date of birth 1938, place of residence Gorodok, place of death Gorodok. Date of death 1941, age 3. Jill Miodeki. Date of birth 1934, place of residence Lipsko nad Vilsa, place of death Treblinka. Date of death 1942, age 8. Henry Torres. Date of birth February 18th, 1935. Place of residence Paris. Place of death Auschwitz. Date of death 1942, age 7. Jeunia Seltzer. Place of residence Jaroslav. Date of death 1942, age 5. Kahova Alaluf. Date of birth 1942, place of death Auschwitz. Date of death 1943, age 1. Marek Pechenrek. Place of residence Splok. Age of death 6. Joseph Milstein. Place of residence Torchin. Age of death 7. Meta Brill. Place of residence Bucharest. Place of death Transnistria. Age of death 7. May their memories be as a blessing for all time. Never forget.
Anne Weiss, age 4, died Auschwitz, 1944. Velvel Shlyansky, age 6, died Odessa, 1941. Kevet Bard, age 9, died Solobkovtsy, 1942. Etel Unzig, age 8, died Krasnoborod, 1942. Greta Bacharach, age 3, died Auschwitz, 1942. Chaim Shenkop, age 3, died Auschwitz, 1945. Rivka Schreckinger, age 8, died 1942. Velvil Zelikovic, age 9, died Horodenka, 1941. Kala Rosen, age 7, died Treblinka, 1943. Yakov Radzinski, age 3, died 1941. Borya Telman, age 9, died Yampol, 1941. Manya Sternina, age 3, died Mstislav, 1941. Yakov Reitzes, age 6, died Mogilev, 1941. Jeno Schwartz, age 8, died Auschwitz, 1944. Mikhail Rozkin, age 2, died Osipovici, 1942. Bracha Fishbein, age 9, died Varvarovka, 1941. Tilly Fuhrwerker, age 1, died Auschwitz. Yulik Idilzak, age 7, died Rumbula, 1941. Yakov Rosityan, age 5, died Menturova, 1941. Chanel Ikovitz, age 7, died Auschwitz, 1944.
Shulem Berger, 3, Auschwitz, 1943. Izia Berry, 6, Odessa, Ukraine, 1941. Ibrahim Burkhan, 10, Auschwitz, 1944. Moshe Burkhan, 4, Auschwitz, 1944. Rosa Berkovich, 12, Odessa, Ukraine, 1942. Esther Berkovitz, 16, Auschwitz, 1944. Freemat Berkovitz, 12, Auschwitz, 1944. Jenta Berkovitz, 13, Auschwitz, 1944. Miriam Berkovitz, 1, Kosice, Slovakia, 1944. Moshe Berkovitz, 10, Auschwitz, 1944. Shifra Berkovitz, 14, Auschwitz, 1944. Fega Berkowitz, 17, Auschwitz, 1942. Rayla Berkowitz, 12, Treblinka, 1942.
Magda Hirsch, 13 years old, Auschwitz, 1944. Maja Hirsch, 9 years old, Auschwitz, 1944. Manfred Hirsch, 17 years old, Lodz, Poland, 1943. Mariana Hirsch, 15 years old, Lodz, Poland, 1942. Missy Hirsch, 13 years old, Auschwitz, 1944. Paul Hirsch, 4 years old, Auschwitz, 1942. Tibor Hirsch, 7 years old, Auschwitz, 1944. Scheindel Hirschberg, 11 years old, Auschwitz, 1943. Ruth Hirschfeld, 9 years old, Auschwitz, 1944. Lotta Hoch, 13 years old, Minsk, Belarusia, 1941. Wolf Hochberg, 17 years old, Riga, Latvia, 1941. Elimelech Hoffman, 11 years old, Auschwitz, 1944. Eva Hoffman, 15 years old, Budapest, Hungary, 1944.
Benzion Hellman, age 13, Latvia, 1941. Mata Hellman, age 11, Latvia, 1941. Motel Hellman, age 7, Latvia, 1941. Common Hendler, age 16, Auschwitz, 1944. Typel Hendler, age 14, Bialystok, Poland, 1943. Ava Herkovitz, age 3, Auschwitz, 1944. Marta Herkovitz, age 4, Auschwitz, 1944. Ella Hershkovich, age 6, Auschwitz, 1944. Sarah Hershkovich, age 11, Auschwitz, 1944. Bluma Hershkovitz, age 9, Auschwitz, 1944. Shmuel Hershkovitz, age 16, Auschwitz, 1944. Raquel Hershkovich, age 2, May 27, 1944. Simka Hershkovich, age 5, Auschwitz, 1944.
Pinchas Prezant, age 10, Treblinka. Sonia Lubetsky, age 7, Voronovo. Toiva Robinovich, age 9. Yasha Paimar, age 4, Minsk. Beryl Abraham, age 2, Vilno. Raphael Givray, age 8, Birkenau. Jacques Olafsson, age 10, Auschwitz. Menachem Steinberg, age 2, Auschwitz. Zeindel Kozlowski, age 10, Piotr Tribunalski. Galia Prayadko, age 4, Babi Yar. Jonah Sukianik, age 3, Treblinka. Sophie Lachman, age 5. Yuli Solokhin, age 3, Oboyan. Godel Lothman, age 2, Shpola. Maxi Glickenstein, age 10, Warsaw. Marie Steike, age 10, Auschwitz. Philip Weiser, age 2, Burstin. Rachel Peikel, age 10, Bushtina. Yitzchak Straumza, age 6, Treblinka. Balia Pupko, age 3, Voronova.
Thomas Getty, age 7, Auschwitz. Emmerich Keeps, age 10, Auschwitz, June 2nd, 1944. Angel Thau, age 4, Auschwitz, 1944. Leah Willenschik, age 5, 1941. Mordechai Shatten, age 9, Kamens-Podolsky, August 1941. Wolf Stretzin, age 10, Mogilev, 1941. Gusti Kohn, age 6, Auschwitz, 1944. Chaim Shore, age 5, Auschwitz, 1944. Shava Sterenbach, age 8, Auschwitz, May 4th, 1944. Ethel Rauschbach, age 8, Transnistria, 1942. Nusia Sankina, age 9, Dnepropetrovsk, 1941. Judith Schindelkraut, age 6, Auschwitz, May 27, 1944. Vera Slouch, age 7, Minsk, 1941. Rosia Silberstein, age 9, Tarnow, 1940. Viva Zanvias, age 6, Sarny, 1942. Ira Smirnova, age 5, Bobra, 1942. Samek Nugelborn, age 5, Belzec, 1942. Yuli Alpin, age 10, Fergana, August 11th, 1943. Naoma Brewser, age 10, Liozno, 1942. Judka Gasparik, age 9, Auschwitz, 1944.
Zaysela Zomerman, age 8, Sobibor, 1942. Favish Karlchain, age 6, Tropova, 1942. Izolda Nemirovskaya, age 7, Odessa, 1941. Tomasz Hollander, age 8, Auschwitz, 1944. Idasiana Pinkovici, age 9, Transnistria, 1941. Chaim Polak, age 1, Auschwitz, 1944. Abraham Prinz, age 2, Sobibor, 1943. Lubya Rakamilovich, age 1, Yarmolinets, 1942. Idek Goldstein, age 10, Kelmno, 1942. Yumre Rat, age 8, Auschwitz, 1944. Joseph Bach, age 8, Auschwitz, 1944. Boria Shulkinovich, age 1, Simferopol, 1941.
Zywinski died in Minsk at the age of 8. Nevinia Gardner died in Shuzhinsk in 1941 at the age of 5. Isaac Grenadier died in 1943 at the age of 9. Antil Litmanovich died in Shilmino in September of 1942 at the age of 6. Dania Greensburg died in Belvedere in September 29, 1941 at the age of 6. Joshua Frakwash died in Birkenau in May of 1944 at the age of 4. Janusz Spaceman died in Treblinka in 1942 at the age of 7. Jeanette Martenshin died in Auschwitz in 1942 at the age of 6. Mika Griskin died in Auschwitz in 1943 at the age of 3. Isaac Ocha died in Baranovica in 1941 at the age of 5. Miriam Copenhagen died in Sobibor in July 2nd, 1943 at the age of 3. Urs Weiler died in Auschwitz on May 1944 at the age of 6. Ruben Scheitzer died in Sobibor in July 16, 1943 at the age of 1. Nakama Tabushin died in Panari on August 31st, 1941 at the age of 6. Gitel Fierman died in Treblinka at the age of 10. Sanya Ferenc died in Minsk at the age of 3. Baladia Popko died in Varanovo in May 11th, 1942 at the age of 2. Jacques Mante died in Auschwitz in 1943 at the age of 4. Henry Mayelchik died in Auschwitz in 1943 at the age of 7. Leonia Kapihelvik died in Minsk in 1941 at the age of 5.
S.V. Kondrat died in Curzon in 1941 at the age of 2. Yakov Shulak died in Simferopol in 1941 at the age of 5. Manucha Rittman died in Dakshitsa in 1942 at the age of 5. Ella Herskovich died in Auschwitz in 1944 at the age of 6. Melka Herman died in Auschwitz in 1944 at the age of 7. Klarsha Schmid, place of death is unknown. Year of death is also unknown. Age is 5. Jitzchak Rothman, place of death Auschwitz in 1944 at the age of 4. Gidel Dukelski, Uman, 1941 at the age of 7. Alice Huzuk died in Auschwitz in 1944 at the age of 5. Ichak Ikovic died in Auschwitz in 1944 at the age of 8. Ejik Ejner died in Petlikos Star in 1942 at the age of 5. Nicole Nochomowski died in Auschwitz in 1944 at the age of 10. Shava Dimenstein died in Warsaw in 1943 at the age of 6. Sanya Dolgina died in Rudnya in 1941 at the age of 3. Eliyahu Markowitz, place of death is unknown. Date of death is 1942 at the age of 3. Shaya Fuchs died in Auschwitz, 1944 at the age of 4. Martuska Strauss died in Auschwitz in 1944 at the age of 2. Yassi Berman died in Auschwitz in 1944 at the age of 4. Madel Steinmetz died in Bersha, 1943 at the age of 2. Asher Mazo died in Chelyabinsk in 1941 at the age of 1.
Lenka Rosmarian, who died at 4. Esther Bodanki, who died in Auschwitz in 1944 and was 7. Kitty Newman, who died in Treblinka in 1942 and was 9. Madeline Schwartzman, who died in Auschwitz in 1944 and was 5. Perla Kowalczyk, who died in Smolovich at 6. Ruth Eisenstark, who died in Auschwitz in 1944 and was 10. Sora Ellerin, who died in Celine in 1941 and was 8. Clara Leon Day, who died in Auschwitz in 1944 and was 7. Zusi Fleischmann, who died in Birkenau in 1944 and was 6. David Gitlick, who died in Dolhenau in April 1942 and was 3. Istray Cohen, who died in Treblinka in 1943 and was 2. Yitzhak Zoyatz, who died in Odessa and was 3. Joachim Gerstel, who died in Auschwitz in 1944 and was 8. Nukim Beyantovic, who died in Chisinau in 1941 and was 1. Izya Gildfand, who died in Ulano in 1942 and was 10. Maya Frisman, who died in 1943 and was 8. Ruth Deskill, who died in Birkenau in 1944 and was 5. Raphael Lerner, who died in Auschwitz in 1942 and was 4. Shimon Jaskowitz, who died in Stasau in 1943 and was 5. Yitzhak Gervik, who died in Panjis in August 1941 and was 7.
Esther Gelberger, age 3, Auschwitz, 1944. Ilona Gelberger, age 12, Auschwitz, 1944. Lajos Gelberger, age 6, Auschwitz, 1944. Milia Gelberd, age 11, Odessa, Ukraine, 1941. Esfir Gelfand, age 17, Smolensk, Russia, 1941. Edith Gelfand, age 17, Auschwitz, 1944. Liba Gelfand, age 15, Minsk, 1942. Regina Gelfand, age 11, Auschwitz, 1944. Tybal Gelman, age 16, Kamenets-Podolsky, Ukraine, 1941. Tevi Gelman, age 16, Zhytomyr, Ukraine, 1941. Yankel Gelman, age 2, Zhytomyr, Ukraine, 1941. Meir Gundalev, age 10, Latvia, 1941. Nomi Gundalev, age 4, Latvia, 1941.
Lilo Gategno, 8 years old, 1943. Yurka Stein, 10 years old, 1944, Auschwitz. Jean Akar, 3 years old, 1944, Auschwitz. Laszlo Schwartz, 10 years old, 1944, Auschwitz. Hindu Gruenberger, 10 years old, 1944, Birkenau. Lucia Ethelbaum, 9 years old, 1942, Treblinka. Moishe Wanjorko, 6 years old, 1942. Yakov Unruch, 7 years old. Branya Davidson, 8 years old, 1942, Caucasus. Mordechai Auspitz, 10 years old, 1944, Auschwitz. Naomi Kaminsky, 6 years old, Auschwitz. Chaim Silberberg, 7 years old, 1942, Auschwitz. Lena Yevlova, 8 years old, 1943, Minsk. Isaac Davidovich, 7 years old, 1944, Auschwitz. Golga Ginsburg, 10 years old, 1942, Minsk. Leah Tesler, 8 years old, 1944, Auschwitz. Avraham Reich, 6 years old, 1942, Auschwitz. Leva Pernikov, 5 years old, 1942, Minsk. Alice Weinbach, 8 years old, 1944, Auschwitz. Micheline Weinstack, 1.
Moishe Weiss, 5 years old, Auschwitz, 1944. Tolek Tief, 5 years old, 1941. Abramek Hilarowick, 9 years old, Treblinka, 1942. Meyer Sigelman, 7 years old, Bial Berzhegi. Nicha Weiss, 3 years old, Auschwitz. Ineshka Grobard, 7 years old. Chena Alperovich, 6 years old, Naroshk, 1943. Musya Garber, 5 years old, 1940. Yasha Viknyansky, 4 years old, Odessa, 1941. Perla Abrahamovich, 9 years old, Auschwitz, 1944. Tava Friedman, 5 years old, Auschwitz, 1943. Sita Avramovic, 4 years old, Bergen, 1945. Urshel Vayner, 2 years old, Vilnius, 1941. Etya Davidovich, 4 years old, Kamenets Podolsky, 1941. Mendele Kotis, 1 year old, Karenets, 1941. Motel Zakroyshik, 7 years old, Pechora, 1942. Slamik Sigler, 10 years old, Auschwitz, 1942. Judith Weider, 2 years old, Auschwitz, 1944. Rakla Smeovich, 7 years old, Birkenau. Serafima Perlman, 10 years old, Simferopol, 1942.
Semyon Vaynerman, age 8. Vavarovka, Zhytomyr, Ukraine, 1941. Dvozha Weinstein, age 4. Krasnodar Krai, Russia, 1942. Ida and Michael Weinstein, ages 4 and 9, Treblinka, 1942. Ekil and Ruben Weinstein, ages 10 and 2, Kamenets-Podolsky, Ukraine, May 8, 1942. Rita Weinstein, age 9, Odessa, Ukraine, 1941. Vigdor Weinstein, age 10, Treblinka, 1942. Yefim Weinstein, age 17, Odessa, Ukraine, October 23, 1941. Ruben and Sarah Weinstein, ages 15 and 10, Odessa, Ukraine, 1942.
Getman, age 15, died in Ukraine, 1942. Duvid Getman, age 10, died in Ukraine, 1942. Velv Getman, age 12, died in Ukraine, 1942. Taiba Jin, age 16, died in Lithuania, 1941. Nina Gittel, age 4, died in Auschwitz, 1942. Yosef Gitman, age 12, died in Ukraine, 1942. Kana Glassman, age 6, died in Ukraine, 1941. Daniel Glazer, died in Ukraine, 1941. Isaac Glazer, age 2, died in Ukraine, 1941. Isaac Glazer, age 1, died in Ukraine, 1941. Lilia Glazer, age 10, died in Ukraine, 1941. Rakhil Glazer, age 17, died in Ukraine, 1941. Urka Globus, age 8, died in Poland, 1943.
Yankel Goldschmidt, age 16, died in Yaltushkov, Vinnytsia, Ukraine, USSR, 1942. Mira Goldstein, 11 years old, died in Bagarovo, Krim, Russia, USSR, 1941. Mira Goldstein, age 11, died in Bagarovo, Krim, Russia, USSR, 1941. Nelly Goldstein, age 8, in Kirch, Krim, Russia, USSR, 1941. Nelly Goldstein, age 8, died in Bagarovo, Krim, Russia, USSR, 1941. Hannah Goldstein, age 12, Auschwitz, 1944. Ethel Goldstein, 14, Auschwitz, 1944. Joseph Goldstein, 11, Auschwitz, 1944. Mano Goldstein, 17, Auschwitz, 1944. Moshe Goldstein, 10, Treblinka, 1942. Shmuel Goldstein, 17, Auschwitz, 1942. Bela Goldstein, 14, Majdanek, 1942. Pesa Goldstein, 17, Majdanek, 1942.
Edvard Krausch, age 6. Place of death, Sobibor, March 13th, 1943. Manya Kotlar, age 7. Place of death, Manaster Chani, March 29th, 1942. Mara Kotliar, age 8. Place of death, Transnistria. Date of death, 1942. Rivka Bickman, age 10. Place of death, Treblinka. Noima Soloway, age 8. Place of death, Ribinishki. Date of death, August 23rd, 1941. Rebecca Shinyuk, age 5. Place of death, Ponari, 1943. Rosina Schwartz, age 4. Place of death, Auschwitz. Date of death, December 18th, 1943. Devira Sinilikova, age 2. Place of death, Starodub. December 1941. Kale Haas, age 10. Place of death, Belzhitz, 1942. Leah Littman, age 7. Place of death, Auschwitz. Date of death, 1944. Abraham Klein, age 4. Place of death, Auschwitz. Date of death, 1944. Brania Lichten, age 3. Place of death, Kolomia. Date of death, 1942. Solomon Kriegsman, age 9. Date of death, 1939. Charlotte Rothstein, age 5. Esther Schneiders, aged 1. Place of death, Bergen. Date of death, 1945. Lubia Kazanson, age 3. Place of death, Shovtenevyov. Date of death, 1942. Filia Lehner, age 8. Place of death, Vinitsa. Rushka Rotter, age 9. Place of death, Skol. Sofa Malkina, age 7. Place of death, Babi Yar. Date of death, 1941. Judith Cohn, aged 8. Place of death, Auschwitz. Date of death, 1944.